More than 800 generals and admirals from across the globe were summoned to Quantico, Virginia this morning, expecting a strategic briefing, and instead got a campaign rally in uniform. In a rambling, often incoherent address, President Trump veered far from military priorities. He insulted his predecessor, former President Joe Biden, very, very often.
You'll never see 4 years like we had with Biden and that group of incompetent people that ran this country that should have never been there.
Praised his tariffs.
I love tariffs. Most beautiful word.
And called Democratic-run cities war zones.
Where it looks like a war zone.
Going even further by telling his Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth that America's cities should serve as training grounds for the military.
And I told Pete we should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military. Because we're going into Chicago very soon. That's a big city. Ones that are run by the radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. They're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. And this is going to be a major part for some of the people in this room. That's a war, too. It's a war from within.
The remarks drew silence, and military leaders had been instructed not to react. So the result was the commander-in-chief using the nation's top brass as political props, floating domestic deployments more suited to authoritarian regimes than that of American democracy. Hegseth, a former Fox News host with very little defense experience, was the opening act, and I cover that speech in this video, but in short, he railed against woke garbage, bragged about fitness tests while calling troops fat, and praised a return to warrior ethos, all while American troops face real threats abroad. The gathering raised alarm not only for its content, but for its cost and risk too, pulling leaders from Asia, Europe, and the Pacific into one room during global instability. Retired Army Major General Paul Eaton called it a waste of millions for little more than partisan venting. Senator Jack Reed called it an expensive, dangerous dereliction of leadership. Even within the Pentagon, officers described the event as terrible, a dangerous mix of politics and the military chain of command. What should have been a sober forum for national security became something else entirely.
Gulf of America.
A reckless,
and we want war because we want to have no wars.
Unpresidential.
War is very strange, you never know what's going to happen with war.
Spectacle.
I call it the N-word. There are 2 N-words, and you can't use either of them.
Be sure to subscribe to the Ravenna Report if you haven't already. The link is in my bio. Even a free subscription supports independent journalism at a time it matters most. Because if that guy gets his way, these are the only headlines we're going to be seeing.